pleasure for us to welcome back a tremendous supporter of the Eagle Group of Minnesota Veterans and someone who's provided us with some really great meetings over the years. He's made a real impact on people professionally, with great messages, but also with his humor and his wit. Uh, just someone who's always on top of the game, just really in everything, just stuff that's going on, kind of in society and in the world, and just always providing great opportunity to learn new things. Dr. Michael Monroe Kiefer, so great to have you with us here again, sir. Really excited to hear from you with this, especially with this unique environment that we still find ourselves in. I know that you're going to give us some great additional background about you. And with that, I would like to turn it over to you and welcome you back to the Eagle Group of Minnesota Veterans.
Okay, thank you, Adam, very much. Appreciate you and appreciate being invited to speak to the group this evening. I want to, before I get started into my presentation, I want to really emphasize something that Adam talked about, and that is the concept of networking. And for you folks to reach out to other people and communicate with other people through networking is just so tremendously valuable for a lot of things, but in particular, getting a job. And my younger daughter, she's a graduate of the University of Minnesota. And when she graduated, her job came through networking. It didn't come through sending out tons of resumes and posting things on Facebook and things like that. It came through phone calls from people that she knew that called different employers and recommended her. Her boyfriend, same deal, graduate, Madison in Wisconsin, got his job, first job from graduating through networking, people that he knew, people that he met. My older daughter, she's an attorney down in Missouri, got her first job as a lawyer because she networked with all of her professors in law school, and they made calls for her and basically got her a job. So, I mean, the importance of networking, people that know your name, know what you're looking for, and making those phone calls, sending out those emails, and making those contacts for you is just so tremendously important in today's society for work and recommendations and things like that. But I mean, think about it, folks. If you can go to the internet and look at 150 resumes, or you get a phone call from somebody that you know and somebody that you trust, and they recommend somebody, who are you going to hire? You're at least going to give the person an interview over everybody else. So networking. And the Eagle Group is a wonderful place where everybody's willing to help each other. The camaraderie that Adam mentioned, so important. So anyway, it's just a point that really needs to be driven home with people. So everything is not gloom and doom. Employers are hiring people, but you just got to have you got to have that edge. You got to have that contact. And through the networking, that gives you that edge. So anyway, do not overlook the power of talking to people and networking with people and asking them to help you. Okay. All right, so my presentation this evening, I'm going to talk to you about improving your home office workspace and some motivational tips. Many of you are not familiar with me, so I'll go through a little of my background. I've got a bachelor's degree from the State University of New York at Buffalo, a master's degree from Texas A&M, both in genetic engineering, PhD from Addison University in behavioral psychology. I worked for 7 years in the biotechnology field for private industry. I worked on agricultural genetics for plants and animals. And then in my late 20s, I became disenfranchised with my genetic engineering career, and I started attending classes at the University of St. Thomas and the Carlson School of Management in leadership, team building, personality styles, and I got exposed to what are called professional speakers, professional motivational speakers, professional trainers, and I decided that that is what I wanted to do. So I made a career change in my late 20s, and I started a research project called the PowerMind Project. And the goal of the PowerMind Project was to study peak performers in the United States from the late 1800s to the mid 1990s, looking at people that became self-made millionaires, looking at rags to riches stories. How does a homeless person 5 years later become a corporate, corporation owner, business owner? Looked at professional athletes, looked at Olympic athletes, looked at scientists, inventors, trying to figure out what separates top performers in a wide variety of fields from average people. How come everybody's not a peak performer? We found that there are four things that separate peak performers from average people, and I'll go through them quick for you. Number one, peak performers work in a job or a career based on their natural talents and genetic skills. So they are working in a field that they have a natural aptitude for, which gives them a competitive advantage over everybody else. Second feature is they are goal setters. They are always looking ahead to the future. They're looking at where they're going to be 6 months from now, a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now. The average person looks at their past with regret. They look at things that happened to them in their childhood. They look at things that happened to them when they were younger, and they use that as a crutch or an excuse for not achieving things. The third feature is peak performers understand the value of high self-confidence, that they need to believe in themselves. They need to believe that they can achieve the things that they set out to do, and they are not deterred by other people that tell them that they can't do something. And the last feature is they have a very high work ethic. They are willing to work early morning, Friday nights, Sunday morning. They're willing to put in the work and do the discipline that is necessary to achieve their goals. I published that information in the form of a book series in 1996 called The PowerMind System, Life Guide to Success. Traveled around the country, 97, 98, doing motivational speeches, weekend retreats. Got tired of traveling all over the country every week, so I set up an alliance with colleges, universities, and companies in the Midwest, North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota, Iowa, and Wisconsin, so that I could do seminars and workshops and training classes for organizations in the Midwest. So I've been a professional speaker since 1996, and obviously with the pandemic, much of my material has gone to doing Zoom training and Zoom classes. So that necessitates the concept for everybody, including, high school students and college students. Everybody all of a sudden got forced because of the pandemic into the concept of setting up some sort of a home office. Okay. And I want to talk to you specifically tonight about your home office. So what are you using for a workspace in your home? And I'm going to go through 13 different concepts and motivational ideas, and also have you, as I go through this material, to be doing a checklist or an inventory on your current home office. So can you check these items off as I go through them that, they are acceptable to you or they are satisfactory to you. Okay. So I want you to use this session tonight, get out a piece of paper, get out a pencil or a pen, and make some notes on what I'm talking about, because everything is going to be very important in regard to working from home, working in a home office. Even if you've got a regular job with a company, most companies are doing 2 or 3 days having people work from home. So the concept of doing things out of your house, I don't believe is going to totally go away. Even, as we get more control over the pandemic, there's still a lot of companies that are allowing people to work from home and will continue to allow people to work from home, even 2 years, 3 years from now, at least some portion of their job. So your home office is very important. Okay. It's got to be a place that you enjoy. It's got to be a place that makes you feel good. And that's what I'm going to talk about here tonight, is to how to make those improvements in your home office. Now, as I go through this material, I want you to especially be aware of this same material for other people. What about your partner? Where do they work? Do they have a space in your home that they can call their own and that they can work from? The concept of a shared home office usually does not work very well. Okay, not in the long term. Everybody needs a space. And when I talk about a home office, it doesn't need to be a big space. Okay, you don't have to hire a contractor and start digging up your backyard and adding on to your house so you can add 4 or 5 offices for your partner and your kids. I'm going to give you some ideas there. But I want you to think about what I go over in regard to if you have kids, if you have a partner, your coworkers, if other people are working for you or working with you, your friends, your neighbors, and especially high school students and college students. My wife is a 9th grade science teacher at a public school, and a lot of her students do not have a good work area. Most of them do, but some of them do not. And they would benefit from somebody sharing with them some basic concepts of how to set up a workspace. A lot of them are just working off of their bed. And your bed is not a good home office, okay? It's not a good place to do Zoom meetings. It's not a great place to do classes, etc. If you have college age students and they're staying in a dorm, or they've moved away and they're in an apartment going to college, they have to, learn some of these same concepts that I'm talking about here. It'll help with their studies. It'll help with their mental motivation, their attitude about classes, their attitude about school, and it will help them get better grades. So be thinking, not just for yourself, but for other people who could benefit from this information. Okay. Now, question comes, well, Mike, I'm not going to write down everything you cover on your PowerPoints. I want to listen to what you say. Awesome. Love that. All my PowerPoints that you're going to see tonight, I sent to John, I sent them to Adam, I sent them to Alan. So if you folks want these PowerPoints to go through, again, as a checklist for yourself, for your kids, college students you might know, feel free to contact them, contact me. You guys can have my PowerPoints. I want you to have my PowerPoints. I want you to make these improvements for your home office, for your kids, partner, etc. So feel free to get my PowerPoints, share my PowerPoints with other people. I do not mind. Okay. All right. So your home office should not be your bed. Okay. A lot of people got messy beds, messy bedrooms. This is not the bedroom could be a home office area, but not the bed. Okay. You don't just roll over, wake up, and now you're at work. Okay. You got to have some more discipline than that. You got to at least, get up, get ready for work as if it's a normal work day. And by the way, I saw a lot of people through the pandemic just totally letting personal hygiene go, things like that. I'm not a big believer in that. I think you should maintain a regular schedule, regular hygiene, just the same if you're working. It helps you maintain that mental mindset. So, number one on our list is cleaning and decluttering. So, whatever area you decide to have as a home office workspace should be clean, neat, and tidy. That will entice you to go to that area. If it looks like a pigsty, like I've got shown on these pictures here on the PowerPoint, nobody wants to go to that and start trying to do work. Nobody wants to attend Zoom meetings or classes, etc., in this sort of environment. So it's got to be decluttered, it's got to be clean. Okay. Now, the location. The location does not need to be a separate room. Now, myself, in my house, it's just myself and my wife. Okay. So I have the opportunity to have, a bedroom that's been converted into a home office. So I have a whole room that is, quote, my office. And that's fine. If you've got that, you're very fortunate. Okay. But what if you don't have that? What if you're like my daughter and her boyfriend? They've got an apartment together, a 1-bedroom apartment that they share, and they both have to do work in a home office. So what they did was my daughter, she carved out mentally an area in their bedroom. So it's only a 1-bedroom apartment. They don't have a lot of room, but there's one corner of her bedroom that is her home office. Okay. And she's got a desk there. She's got her computer there. She's got a nice chair. She's got some shelving. It's set up nice. And when she's in that area, she's at work. She doesn't go to that area, the bedroom, unless she's at work. And when she's at work, she's in that area. And that's kind of a signal to her boyfriend that, hey, don't be making a lot of noise. Don't be barging around. Don't be doing a lot of things, because when I'm there, I'm at work. And mentally, if she's there, she's working. Now, her boyfriend, obviously, he can't be in the same room if they're trying to work from home. So there's a little sort of a nook area in their living room. And it's not very big. It's like probably 5 feet by 4 feet. He went out and he made a little telescoping desk for himself. And he put that in there, put up some shelving. He's got some bookcases, made his own computer, and that's his work area. And it's neat and it's tidy and it's clean. And same thing I told you about my daughter. When he's there, he's at work and he doesn't want to be disturbed. He doesn't want to be bothered. If he's not in that area, then he's not at work. Okay. So in your house, if you have multiple people that are sharing areas that are their home office, like I'm describing for my daughter and her boyfriend, people in the house need to be respectful that, that person is doing a class, they're doing their homework, they're at work, so to speak. So I think if you develop a system with your family where everybody knows their work area and everybody is respectful of that, it'll go a lot better, a lot smoother in the home for everybody, students, adults, etc. Okay. So that's something everybody needs to agree on. If you have more than one person living in your home, that everybody has their own area that they can call their own, that they can call their workspace, their home office. And I'm using that term home office loosely because the home office could just be an area in the home or in the apartment. It does not have to be a traditional office in a room with a closed door, etc. Okay. All right. So location, very important. People need to be respectful. When you're in that location, mentally, you need to be at work and not doing other things. Needs to be clean, needs to be neat, needs to be decluttered. Third idea, what about your computer? Do you need to upgrade your computer? Are you capable of doing the work that you need to do on the computer that you have? Prices on computers, they depends on what you need. But in today's day and age, everybody's got to have a good computer. College students, high school students, teachers, you have to have a good computer. So whatever it takes, you got to have the tool of the trade. You got to have something that will work for you. And then you also, maybe you need upgrades. Maybe you need multiple devices. Maybe you need multiple monitors. My daughter, I told you she's an attorney. She's comfortable working with 3 monitors. Okay. So some people want more than 3, some people want 4 or 5, but she's comfortable working with 3. For most of the stuff that I do, I work with 1 computer. I'm kind of old school, but I am thinking about getting a larger monitor. So when I do Zoom meetings, I've got a much bigger area to look at. I've got more of a TV type setup to look at. So, what you need is based on, your job and how you're going to use it. Some people like building their own computers with their own components, especially a lot of young people. They got friends that can build them computers and things like that. But you got to have the right tools for the trade that you're in. So be thinking about that. Do I need a better computer? Do I need a faster computer? Do I need multiple monitors? What do I need to do to upgrade my computer skills, my software, etc. But everybody needs a computer. 4th, 5th graders, they got computers. So you got to have one too, and it's got to be a good one. All right. So think about it in regards to your kids, coworkers, friends, etc. Number 5, lots of people having problems with their eyes because with the pandemic and everybody on computer screens day and night, eyes are itching, eyes are burning, eyes are watering. A lot of people are not aware that so much screen time can cause a lot of problems with your eyes. So what are some things you can do if you're suffering from eye strain? Well, there's different types of glasses that you can get that block some of the radiation from the computer screens. There are also coatings. If you wear prescription glasses or contact lenses, there are coatings that you can get at your optometrist to put on the glasses, which will block some of that radiation. And I wear traditional glasses, so I have the coatings put on my lenses when I get my prescriptions for my glasses. Also, most of the computers made in the past 5 years have in the settings that you go to, they have a protective mode that you can set inside the computer, and it will put your screen in a lower radiation mode. So a lot of people are not aware of that. They're not aware that they can go into their computer, and I don't know for everybody's different computers where you go, but you can look it up on YouTube or on Google, type in the computer and the model that you have, and type in how to change your screen settings to the lower radiation modes so that it will protect your eyes. The actual computer screen will be putting out less radiation. So eye strain, you got to be able to see your computer. You got to be able to work on your computer for long periods of time. If your eyes are bothering you, you're having eye trouble, 3 different methods. You got different types of glasses, coatings on the glasses, different glasses themselves, and you've got settings in your computer. And then you can also buy screen sheets, which are basically plastic films that you can just stick onto your computer screen that also block radiation. They're less than like $10, and you can get them on Amazon and eBay. It's just basically a clear film sticker that you stick on your computer screen, and it helps block out radiation. So those are some options if you're having problems with your eyes. Now, what about your feet? And what about your hands? And what about your wrists? So again, you're on the computer for hours and hours and hours every single day, sometimes at night. How is your keyboard? Do you have an ergonomic keyboard? They've made tremendous progress in regard to ergonomics for people on computers 10, 12, 15 hours a day. Soft touch keys, keys that you can adjust the pressure that you put on the keys when you type. So there's all kinds of things in regard to keypads that have been modified, changed, altered, the shape, the texture, the softness of the keys, the softness of the wrist rests. Some of them use gel, some of them have memory foam in them. The keys themselves, not necessarily hard plastic, but soft touch keys. Some of them are just flat. The whole board is just, keyboard is just flat. Just the lightest touches, like your cell phones, will activate them. So your keyboard, what are you using for a keyboard? Is it ergonomic? Are you having trouble with your fingers, your hands, carpal tunnel syndrome, things like that? And then what about your feet? Okay, is your chair adjusted to the right height? Are your feet dangling? Do you have something that can raise your feet, can change the position of your feet, can massage your feet? You know, I mean, the same deal with the keyboards goes for footrests. 100 different kinds of footrests for your feet, heated massagers, cooling massagers. So to keep your feet comfortable while you're sitting at your computer is also very important. Okay. And then we come to the big one, the chair. Okay. So many people I see working from a hard, 1960s designed wooden chair or stool and sitting in that all day. Now, the one I have pictured on the upper right there, that's a gaming chair. Man, talk about technology. You got wheels, you got back tension adjuster, you got inflatable back of the neck pad, you got inflatable pad for the lower back, adjustable armrests, angles can be adjusted and locked, height adjusted. The chair I have pictured there, they're pretty pricey, but they may be worth it if you're having back trouble, if you're having leg trouble, if you're having neck pain. A lot of people do not associate different aches that they're getting from being at their home office all day. They're like, oh, well, I'm just getting old, that's why my neck hurts every day. Or, the weather is humid out. That's why my lower back hurts today. And a lot of it has nothing to do with your age, has nothing to do with the weather. It has to do with how you're sitting for hours and hours and hours all day. And if you have, proper foot, if you've got proper foot position and leg position and knee position and back posture and neck support and head support. So these are things you really need to look into. And again, especially for the students, the college students, the high school students, do they have a comfortable chair to sit in while they're doing their classes, while they're doing their homework? I got a couple of friends, and they said the first thing they got their college age kids when they moved them into the dorms were gaming chairs. They said, we want our son and our daughter to have comfortable chairs when they go off to college. And that was kind of a college gift that they gave their kids, was they got them these gaming chairs. I think the one I show on the upper right is about $500 or $600. But anyway, they purchased chairs very similar to those because they wanted their kids to have good chairs when they're sitting in their dorm rooms or apartments. So chair, very important. Okay, can alleviate a lot of neck, back, leg, feet pain. Doing a lot of research on how they're going to set up future work pods for corporations and industries. And a lot of this stuff you can see at different trade shows and stuff. It's pretty funky what they're thinking about designing for corporations, for people to work in the future. Everybody basically climbs into one of these pods, and you've got, full rotation back, you can lean back, you can lay down in them, they extend. They've got trays, they've got, cup holders, food holders. Some of them I've seen have a joystick and they're on motorized wheels. You can drive this whole thing around. So imagine working at a place like that where you get into one of these computer workstation pods, you got your joystick and you can drive it around the building. And that may seem far-fetched, but it's not really. They've got these things available right now. So kind of interesting how technology and ergonomics are fusing to develop these things. But think about this work pod that the woman in the lower right is sitting on, and multiple big screens there, able to do her work. And then think about what you have. Okay, so there's kind of the goal in the future, and then see what you have. A lot of people sitting at a kitchen table on an old chair versus having something like this. The other aspect is telescoping workstations, being able to stand up. Again, not super expensive. My daughter's boyfriend bought the motorized telescoping legs, and then he basically mounted a board on top of that and painted it, and now he has a telescoping workstation. So you don't need to spend thousands and thousands of dollars decking out your home office, especially if you've got 3 or 4 other people that need the same type of thing. A lot of these things can be done fairly inexpensively. Look for used things: Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, eBay, Amazon. A lot of things can be purchased for a much discounted price, and not super expensive. How expensive is it for back surgery versus $100 for telescoping legs on a board that you can put your computer on? So healthcare costs always far outweigh personal injury, injuring your hands, your legs, your circulation, your back, your neck. I'm a big believer in ergonomics, and anything you can do to make yourself more comfortable while you're working at home is definitely worth more than a trip to the doctor or more prescription medications. Number 10 is lighting. What about the lighting situation that you have in your home? And again, research on natural light. You can buy different types of bulbs that put out, quote, sunlight or daylight. A lot of people in the winter times, dark in the morning, dark at night, cooped up all day. My wife has the condition where she needs the sunlight. So we got her a couple lights that put out daylight or emulate sunlight. Made a tremendous difference when she's teaching Zoom classes to her students over the winter. Again, readily available on the internet, various office supply stores, bulbs you can get for regular light fixtures that put out daylight or sunlight. If you're fortunate enough to be able to set up your home office near a window, fantastic. That'd be great. But if you don't, you can get artificial lighting that simulates natural lighting. Another aspect to be thinking about is temperature. Are you able to stay warm and cool in your home office? A lot of people went to the basements in the winter to set up their home office, and they found that they had, kind of cold basements and not very good lighting. So, fairly inexpensive to get a space heater so that you can heat a small area, at least where you're working, so you've got good temperature. Same thing with cooling. Maybe you don't need to have it fully air conditioned, but maybe just a fan that you have in your workspace to keep a gentle breeze going. So temperature is important too. You can't do your best work when you're uncomfortable. Whether that uncomfortable comes from temperature, whether it comes from lighting, not being able to see, comes from fatigue, sitting too long, not being able to stand up. If your body is fatigued, if your eyes are fatigued, if your mind is fatigued, then you're not going to be able to put out your best work. You're not going to be motivated to go to a dank, wet, cold, dark basement that is your home office. You have to be able to have a comfort area so that it's motivating for you. Another concept is called Feng Shui, and that is creating positive energy to harmonize with your environment. So how do you do that in the home office? Well, you surround yourself with things that make you feel good. And this is also a great stress reducer. Just because you have an area in your home that you call a home office doesn't mean it has to be all business. You can put things in there that make you feel good. I've talked a lot about physical health, how you can physically feel good in your home office or your home workspace. And this is more for your mind. How can you mentally feel good? How can you make it enticing? Anything alive, plants, flowers, little seedlings that you might be going to put in your garden in a couple of months. Put a few of those on your desk or in your workspace. I'm a big believer in life in the house. So what do you have that can breathe life into your workspace? Have any plants, any flowers? What about your pets? A lot of people have pets, have the pet wandering around in your office. I got a little dog that comes in and out of my office throughout the day, puts a smile on my face when he comes in and visits me. I like that. What about colors? Paint is cheap, okay? If you need to paint an area of your house that's your home office with some brighter colors, make it a little lighter, make it a little brighter. Pictures, maybe you got pictures of family members, pictures of pets, pictures of kids you want to put up. Maybe you got awards, maybe you got trophies you want to put up. Whatever makes you feel good, that's what the home office should be decorated with, not just stark like a hospital waiting room. Okay, put things up that you like. My wife and daughter went to Kenya, East Africa, 3 years ago. My daughter brought me back a little shaman stick. It's about 2.5 feet long, handmade. Had a hard time getting it over on the airplanes. They thought it was some kind of a club or a weapon, but she got it over here, and I got that in my office. So a little good luck charm I've got sitting on top of one of my filing cabinets. I got lots of pictures in my office of my family, my kids, different awards that I've won. I can look around my office, and almost everywhere I look makes me feel good. It gives me a warm, positive feeling. I don't want to be in a work environment where I'm looking at dirt, I'm looking at clutter, I'm looking at things that don't make me comfortable. So you decorate your home office, you decorate your work area to suit you. If it makes you feel good, put it in your office. Okay. So what can you put in your office? Take things from different parts of your house and put them in your office. Okay. All right. And then the last idea I've got here is seasonal decorations. So when we have different holidays coming up, why not put something in your office that represents an upcoming holiday? Gives you a positive future view, something for you to look forward to. Okay. So my wife and I started this year and decided we've got a little artificial 4-foot Christmas tree. And we decided this year that the Christmas tree never comes down, but it's not decorated for Christmas all year. We take different types of decorations and we decorate the tree for whatever holiday is coming up. So we try and do it on a monthly basis, but if we can't do it monthly, we do it every 2 months. So when Valentine's Day was coming up, the whole tree was decorated with Valentine's type stuff. When St. Patrick's Day was here, we decorated the whole tree with St. Patrick's Day stuff. Okay. So just Easter, same thing. It became an Easter egg tree with bunnies around the bottom. Now, you might say, well, that's kind of dumb, Mike. Well, maybe, but my wife and I like it. All right. So it's our house. Decorate it the way I want. And you do the same for your house. So you've got things in your house. You want to have some seasonal decorations on your office or in your home, go for it. Okay. So what improvements could you make to your home office that would make it more motivating, would make it more comfortable for you to enjoy being in, because you're going to be there a long time. Okay. So that's the whole point here. You're going to be in an area a long time. You might as well make it comfortable and you might as well make it mentally motivating. Now, a little bonus here is outside space. Again, doesn't matter if you have an apartment, a townhouse, or you've got a house with acreage. Outside space improvements. Again, I use my wife or my younger daughter and her boyfriend because they've got a 3rd floor, 1-bedroom apartment. They put out a bird feeder. They got a little patio and they got all kinds of birds coming to their bird feeder and they enjoy it and they like it. Now they're going to put out a little patio tomato plant because my daughter used to grow and help me with my garden when she lived here. And she says, no, a little potted tomato plant out on my patio, that's going to put a smile on my face. So outside spaces can be decorated, jazzed up, etc., to make you feel good as well. And if you are fortunate enough to have a yard, you know, nothing better than getting outside, enjoying the weather, doing a little yard work. How can you improve your outside living space? And what would you enjoy having outside? Barbecue grill, plants, flowers, vegetables, herbs. My wife loves having herbs, fresh herbs growing in different pots on our deck and stuff. So you don't have to have acreage for that. You can have a little herb garden in a planter hanging off a deck on a 3rd floor apartment. Okay. So being creative and looking at ways to have that positive feng shui, that life, plants, animals, flowers, herbs, things you can eat, very rewarding for people, getting back to nature, so to speak. All right. And then the other thing is, again, everything I shared with you be thinking about how this information may help somebody else, may help a young student, may help a elementary student, middle school student, high school student, college student. What can you do to help others, especially young people that are forced into this situation of having to do classes at home and not having the interaction that they're used to having with their friends and their neighbors, etc. So maybe some of these ideas not only help you, but help your family members as well. So feel free to share the information with others. Okay, thank you everybody for attending my presentation. Hopefully it'll help you with your physical health, your mental well-being, give you some ideas for setting up a home office and also helping other people with their